Hello, it is Tuesday, December 28th, and I woke up this morning for some comments on my last day of Vlogmas. Thank you so much. And one of the comments I got asked me to do a WIP parade for my knitting and crochet projects. And it got me thinking that, one, I have not done that. I didn't do that yet last year. Last year I just did a cross stitch one. But two, I have a spreadsheet in which I track my cross stitch, kind of. I'm bad at updating it. But I don't have anything to track my knitting or crochet. And so this would allow me to input all that into a spreadsheet and kind of keep track of my projects that way too. So this is going to be multiple reloads. So I'm going to film what's in front of me, then I'm going to have to put stuff away and bring stuff out. So it's going to take a couple of hours to film at least, but it'll help with some of my organization. So I decided to go ahead and do that. Plus, my husband is finishing up an application for a job promotion downstairs, and some of the things I need to do for another video I need to film today, which is my plans for next year. I need to be able to print out a few things to show you guys, and also for my own tracking. And so I'm waiting for him to go into the office in a couple of hours. So I thought I would just do this now. And yeah, so all of my Advent ones are still up there, as well as a few other projects, and I have yarn projects scattered throughout. So this is going to be as much of a mystery dive for me as it is for you. So I will try to remember to link my Ravelry page down below, where you can feel free to send me a friend request. I have most of these as project pages, though admittedly not all of them. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one you guys should be well familiar with, and that is my Advent socks. So I am now on another bright green stripe for this one. I measured it, and so far the foot is 5 inches, I believe. And so I need to go another like 3 to 4 inches. So I'm getting there. And this is gonna be for my husband. It was one of his Christmas presents that I didn't finish. So I am using this right now as my 30 minutes a day project. I'm trying to do 30 minutes a day on a single project. This is one of my goals for next year, to hopefully start to clear out some of those projects. So I'm only going to spend 30 minutes a day on that project and then not work on it the rest of the time. But I'm hoping to make some good progress, clear off some needles. So the other sock is still at the point where I need to pick up stitches. So that's what that looks like. And I'm just gonna kind of toss these on the ground and hope that the dogs leave them alone. The next one to share with you guys is my Advent socks from last year. Here they are. I decided to do these ones 2 at a time. I have mixed feelings about 2 at a time socks, because I feel on my second sock my tension is definitely different, as I've got all of this sock bunched up and it's affecting my tension. So I'm not sure how much I will do 2 at a time with striped things, but I do like that you, for the most part, get basically the same identical sock. So this is the Heel Toe Do-Si-Do pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. And I think it's a fantastic pattern for striped yarn, and the pattern is so easily memorizable. Next we have a project that I just started, like really just started, and I like to have a brainless, like granny square type of project that I can work on during church. So this is that. That's how that looks at the moment. This is a Christmas cake. Let's see if, I'm not sure I can actually get this out because I kind of smooshed it in, but it goes from white silver to yellow to red to green to back to that white silver. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to have that to work on. I've had that cake of yarn for quite a while, back when I was still subscribed to Little Favorites by Ria's Yarn of the Month Club. Next we have a shawl I started about a year and a half ago. It's called the Stillness Shawl, and you use 3 skeins of yarn. So here's my first color. I'm not really sure that it goes so well with, but whatever, I'm not pulling it out at this point. So yeah, I was really enjoying this, but then, you know, other things just came up. So I believe this one is on my WIP Go board. And I'm sorry, but I'm not 100% who the designer is. I think it might be Helen Stewart, but I could definitely be wrong about that. Next we have another unfinished Christmas present for my husband in an even worse place. And this is the Floofy house socks. That's as far as I got. This is a DK weight, so it goes much faster, and this isn't a very long leg. But this is one that, with all the other things I was doing during the month of December, it just got backburnered, and now that my husband knows about it, I don't have to try to sneakily work on it. So this next one is called, I think the pattern is actually called the Mesa Wrap. I call it the Luna Wrap because I have a 4-skein set that was named after Luna Lovegood. So there are 4 different shades of blue in here. And then these 2 as well. And I'll try to put a picture of what the pattern page looked like. It is very long, so it takes me a long time to make it through a single row, which is why I don't work on it very often, but I would really love to do some more on this. It's been a while. There is some patterning going on. It's hard to see. It's like triangles. And it is meant to be really long because you kind of like wrap it over your shoulders. Anyways, so this is the Luna Wrap is what I call it. And I have it in this beautiful Ravenclaw bag. Next we have up the Beach Wrap, which I was supposed to finish in November for the Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup on Ravelry. But I just ran out of time, and so I only got to the halfway point. So this is what it looks like. I think it's beautiful. I love the colors. I love how it's looking. So I think the last time I showed it on the channel, I was right there. So I've made a ton of progress since then. Now I just have to, you know, finish it. And it's a pretty memorizable pattern. So yeah, I really enjoy this one. Next up is the Starflake Cow from Stephen West. This is his make along from 3 years ago. And so I'm barely at the beginning stages of that. Well, I guess it was 2 years ago. I will show you the other ones right now. This is Slipstravaganza. And this was last year's, 2020's. And I'm still in part 1. So lots to be done. And the one from this year, I have the least amount of progress on. And that is Shawlography. And that's because I was getting worried about how this was going to look. And with each part that got released, it started to look more and more crazy. So I need to find someone else who had this kit. I know there are a few people, and look at their finished projects and make sure that this is actually a project I want to continue. The more I look at it, actually the more I like it. However, it's just, look, one of my favorite pins is in there. I just want to make sure before I make that commitment. I made little things for each of the skeins in here. There are 5 different colors. And I'm using a kit that I bought for this from Lola Bean Yarn Co. So these are my, I mean, that's my very small meager start to it. And this is actually the bag that came with it. Next we have up a, oh my gosh, now I just found some random tape measure, a random pair of scissors. I should look through my bags more often. Anyways, this is a top that's called the Heart of Glass. I haven't worked on this for a little while because I started it when I was first learning, and I'm worried that I didn't do the tops of the sleeves right. So I've been debating ripping it out and restarting, but I think I'm going to persevere. I do love this purple yarn. It is called Dr. Meets Rose, and it's from Farm Girl Fibers. And I bought this a couple years ago. Maybe even 3 years ago. Next up we have a shawl called Brioche Licious. And this was me learning brioche. And I'm actually really enjoying this one. I just haven't worked on it for a while, but not because there's anything wrong with the pattern. It's a nice pattern, and brioche is way easier than I thought it was going to be. And so this is one I would actually really like to work on some more. And the yarn is from Bluebird Yarn, the lady who dyed the Jane Austen Make Along. And actually this color, that is called A Valentine for Miss Bennet. So she does a lot of Jane Austen themed colors. Is this the other? No, this is, I had to have 2 skeins of that. And then the blue color is actually from the Yarn Brewery, and I signed up for just one, I think 1 month of her Harry Potter themed one, because I wasn't super impressed. So it's called Tales of Beetle the Bard. That is what the blue color is called, which actually, I mean, I think it is a pretty color. I think when I, like, you know, when you first sign up for things, you get this, like, impression in your head, and when it doesn't exactly meet that, you are exceedingly disappointed, and more disappointed than you should be, because looking at this now, that's actually a really beautiful color. So I don't know why I wasn't happy with it, but that is a really beautiful color. Jeez. Okay, I have several projects in here, socks to be exact. One of my goals for the next year is to finish a pair of socks every single month, and that will include socks already started. So I'm hoping to eventually get to the point where I have finished all my started socks, and we'll be able to start and finish a pair of socks in a month. But until then, just finishing a pair of socks a month will be a good enough goal. So the first one is another heel toe do-si-do from the Crazy Sock Lady, and this is in a Halloween colorway. And this is the first sock. I had really hoped to have finished this second sock by this past Halloween, but it was my first semester doing the Harry Potter knitting and crocheting house cup on Ravelry, and I just basically let that consume all my crafting time trying to make things for it. And so now I'm going in as a second year, and while I still am super ambitious, because I am a natural born Slytherin, ambition is in me, but I think now that this isn't my first time, I can kind of take a breather and not let it completely consume all my time, and try to work in some cross stitch and some other type of hobbies. Get some things done and not just start everything. But so here's where I am on the second sock. So I did manage to start the second sock in exactly the same place as the first one. So I am okay, going back to matching everything. I am right here, so I have this much more to do till I can start the heel. So 2 more full color repeats. The second set of socks that I have in this bag, I'm really hoping to whip down enough so that I don't have multiple projects in a bag. That's one major goal for the start of this year. But this is a pair of socks that I started for my sister Kirsten, and they are called the Dunbrock socks. No, I'm sorry, that's a lie. This is a pair of socks for my mom. and they are called the Sweetheart Socks. Yeah, these are for my mom. And I am so in love with this colorway. Like, to the point it's only because I love her that I was willing to do this, because this is a gorgeous colorway. I love everything about it. The dyer is Crystal Hand Dyes. I'm trying to find if I have, yeah. Oh, Crystal Skies hand dyed. And this is called Storm Clouds. And I've looked, and I don't think she has this color in stock anymore. She's the one I do the Harry Potter Yarn of the Month Club through. I will try next time I'm on my computer to link in this video as many shop links and designers and that I can try to remember. But anyways, I've considered messaging her and asking if she could dye up this color again. Yarn dyers are usually pretty open to custom jobs, so I might do that. And I do really love how that pattern looks. I haven't worked on this in a year, so I need to put some more time and attention in it for my mom. Finish up this sock and get the second one done. This one I believe is called Witch's Brew. I do know that the dyer is Mint Hand Dyes. She's the one that I do the Advent socks with. The Advent striped socks, I get them from her. So I also have a pair of Christmas striped socks that I haven't even started, that I bought at the same time I got that one. Okay, in this bag I also have several projects. This is a pair of socks I started for my sister Jo. I do not remember the pattern name. This has a picot cast on. That was the first time I've ever done that. I'm a little bit worried that it's a little bit droopy, but I'm hoping my sister will like it anyways. But that's part of why I haven't done much more on it since then, because it's just, it felt super slouchy and like they won't stay up. Then I have started a pair of ribbed socks for my nephew Hayden. He is very much into soccer, so he wanted them like soccer length. And I was just waiting for my sister to send me his foot size measurement, and my mom did a couple weeks ago. So I need to get these finished, finish the first one and then do the second one as soon as possible, because he's 7, I believe 7, and at that age they're just growing so fast. So if I want to get it to have not like spent time making these and had it wasted, then I really need to finish these and get them posted to him. This is what the yarn looks like, and this is a Yarnable yarn from the Yarnable Yarn of the Month. This is the Dunbrock sock, and I finished this one. So this is for my sister Kirsten. So I need to knit the second sock of this one and get it posted with Hayden's. They live over in England now. My sister is studying history, British history, I believe, over there, and so need to get them both their socks. This just looks so skinny to me, but I know my sister has a skinny foot, and once I like stretch it out on my hand, it isn't quite as skinny and it opens up some more. So I think it will be fine, even though it looks like it won't. But so my sister does wear a small size, so that makes it a lot faster to have made this. I have to make myself large size because I have wide feet. And so the last pair of socks that I have in here is the pair I'm making for my dad, which is a plain vanilla sock. So he has the same cuff as my sister Kirsten's sock is. And that's because originally my mom was going to have this color, even though this is not her coloring. But then she saw the other yarn and changed her mind, but I'd already cast my dad's sock on with this. So his is super wide. Like I had to add more stitches than a large size sock. I think I cast on 80 or 88. And because it just has really wide feet. And so clearly lots more to do on his, but yeah, some progress has been made. Anyways, okay, so that's the first set of projects. I am going to pause this now, add them all to a spreadsheet, and then set up for the next set. So I will be back shortly. Okay, back with the second set. I think I'm probably gonna have 1, 2, 3, 2, maybe two or three resets. So we will see. So the first one I'm going to start with is the Cozy Comfort Throw. This is the Advent I'm doing with the Jane Austen Advent from this year. And I'll take it off of this real quick. So it's knit held together with just a plain yarn. And so what I have been doing is, I think seven garter ridges. I'm now thinking I might do one of these small Battenberg Squares as like a little sample, and then just magic knot the colors together and just knit until it's done. I did like how in this cover picture there's very defined colors, but these are so, she blended them so much. Like not every change is a blend, but that it isn't necessarily as defined. This is where this one ends and the next one begins. And so it's not going to have the same look as this, which is totally fine. It's still going to look awesome and it's going to be super warm. But this will give me the chance to have a little sample of each colorway, even though I am on the third color now in this Advent. It's just a pink. I think that this is what I want to do, to be able to have a small part of that to show just how it looks crocheted in a small little sample size. The long one is actually still in the box over there, so I wanted to do it first to get it kind of out of the way and then be able to put it over there. Okay, and this one. Okay, so now I guess I'll start over here and work my way over. We have got the Gilmore Girls Advent. The pattern is called The Quest, and I am on my second color. and this is a wrap. So this is one I started this Advent season. Okay. Next up, we have one from 2 years ago. This is an Advent that was called Nocturne Alley. It was dyed by Canon Hand Dyes. They do some lovely colorways. Anyways, so I'm only on the second color. This is the Habitation Throw. It's a really pretty pattern, and the only reason I haven't done more on it is because I just have to refresh myself on the pattern, because I haven't worked on this in 2 years. So I'm excited to get back to this one. And yeah. So I started a new sheet for my knit and crochet projects, and in it I'm including where each project is stored, like what project bag. So I think one of these days I'm going to have to go through the cross stitch ones and do the same thing, add where they're stored, or like what bag they're stored in, because some are alphabetical in the third row of this shelving. I have baskets, and I have those in alphabetical, but the ones I have in actual project bags are over there, and I frequently don't know what's in each project bag. So having a space on my spreadsheet that says that, I think is going to be super helpful. Anyways, okay, so the next one I haven't even started yet, but this is the pattern I plan on doing the Fade Advent in. So I know I mentioned this a lot, but I don't know how many times, hey, no, how many times I mentioned or showed the pattern. So I'm really excited to get to start this one at some point. I might try to fit it into like what's called an owl or a mission in the Harry Potter knitting and crochet. That will give me either 6 weeks to complete it or 3 months. The next one is one also from 2 Christmases ago. And this pattern is called the Perfect Blend. And it is for 12 colors, which is what this Advent is. And it was a Harry Potter Advent from Storyweaver Yarns. So I have used each of the colorways once. And now I am doing bigger stretches of each of the colors. So there's still a long ways to go. I put this one on hold for a long time because the whole first part was just a strip of garter in one color. Then the next color was stockinette. And no, Jamie. James. I was worried that the whole shawl was just going to repeat like that, and I was a little bit bored, and also that was a lot of purling. But no, if I had just looked a bit further, the next part started to be different special stitches, and I think they look super cool. So I'm really excited to get back to this one and would love to finish it sometime. The pattern is from Casapinka. She has a lot of really great shawls that utilize a lot of special stitches. Then we have a pattern that's called is it the 12 days of Knitmas? What is it called? Where's the cover page? Jeez Louise. I'm so organized, you guys. Well, for one thing, I don't have this pattern in order, so good grief. Okay. 12 days of knitting. And that's a brief picture of what it looks like. The designer is Corey Eckleberg, Irocknit's design. And I am doing this with Story Weaver's Jane Austen, a Jane Austen Christmas 12-day Advent. So Story Weaver is the daughter of Bluebird, who did Jane Austen this year. So this is last year's. And you can see that this is a much more different. Good grief. Much different coloring. I really love this color. I think that's so beautiful. Anyways, I love all the colors. So I've mentioned this many times, but I don't have enough of this first color. I am supposed to be able to graft them together in the end. So I'm gonna have to just kind of wing it and see what happens. I'm sure it will be fine. I'll just try to make sure that one stays at the back. But I am on day number 5 on this pattern, and each day has a different design, and I really love this Advent. If I had gotten a 12-day Advent, there's a good chance I would have done this one again. That or the Perfect Blend one. It's so hard to say. Both of them are fantastic patterns. I mean, I guess in theory I could get a 24-day and just split it into 2 12 days. But anyways, so yeah, I love this pattern so much. And this is what I'm hoping to get done this year. I'm also hoping to clear out a project bag so I can stop storing it in just this plain thing. Next up, we have the Bakery Bears Advent from last year. I got 2 6-color gradient sets. You only needed 5 colors. So I've only got 2 more to do. And so each of these is a different pattern based off of different books. So I've really loved this one. I think the last time I showed it on an episode, I was over here. So yeah, I'm getting close, getting almost done. And the last color is another type of ribbing. So it should be done pretty easily. I took a sneak peek at that one. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this one done. I put it in my Slytherin bag because this day, that's supposed to represent the Cloak of Invisibility. So it's a little bit Harry Potter related. I mean, look at that. These are Christmas trees, and they really do look like Christmas trees. It's just such brilliant designing. Next up, we have one from, again, 3 years ago, I believe. These were 10-gram minis, and the pattern is called the Adventure Scarf. Well, you could do it as a wrap too, but I had 10-gram minis, so I could only do the scarf. My picture's only in black and white. Anyways, I'm not such a huge fan of this one, so that's why it's been kind of languishing and neglected. I am on, I think I just started the 4th color. I'm pretty sure I just started the 4th color. Yeah. And this color is called Chocolate Frog. So this is a Harry Potter based one as well, which is why it's in a Harry Potter bag. And this is what that color looks like. So it is a sparkling base. The dyer is the Crystal Sky hand dyes. She has not done an Advent for the last couple of years, so I don't know if this was like a one-time thing and she decided not to do them anymore or what the situation is, but I don't know whether it's the coloring I'm not a huge fan of, or the design, or how they play together. These could have possibly been good as just crocheting granny squares in single colors and trying to mix them up, but that's not what I did. So I am trying to just carry on and work on this project when I can. Okay, so then we have, okay, this is another Harry Potter Advent, again from like 3 years ago. This dyer for the last, I think this was the 5th year, she has been doing, but possibly it's the 6th year, I don't remember. She does 1 book a year. She and I think her daughter, they alternate days. This is the first day because I keep changing my mind about what I want to do with them. And so I have this pattern called Nora's Vintage Afghan, and it's a cable pattern. And this is a free pattern, but it is meant to be for what's it called? Worsted weight, maybe? Oh no, a heavier size yarn. So I think there are 24 different patterns, or how many different patterns? Sorry, I should have had this a little bit more prepared, but we're just kind of, you know, flying by the seat of our pants like we do. Chart 17, maybe it's 20 charts. So I needed, so yeah, so I would have needed to do 4 an additional time. My worry has been that this isn't not enough yarn. So that's why I've been a little bit hesitant on it. But if it is enough yarn, I think it would make such a cool looking, oh, this is such squishy yarn. It's so nice. Anyways, I think this would make a cool looking Afghan, but also I think that the patterning could get lost in this. So perhaps this is something I need to think of a different pattern to do. I really want to do this Afghan. Maybe I just need to bite the bullet and get the Barocco yarn, which isn't so terribly expensive actually, and just make it as it's called for. And find another pattern for this yarn because I've had it and not done anything with it for a few years. So we will see. This will probably not go onto my spreadsheet because it's not really super started. Next we have the Tudor Advent, and this pattern is called Dust of Snow. I am only on the 2nd color. It's a really simple pattern. And the great thing about this designer, Helen Stewart, is she literally writes out the whole pattern line by line, even with the different colors, so you can just check it off as you go. You hold this yarn double with a strand of mohair, which is what this is. And so this is what it looks like plain. And in the end, you get something much more muted and soft. So I really love this Advent. I need to keep on working on it. This year, I really want to put a focus on working on my Advents. I'm even thinking about putting each Advent into the tiny decisions and spinning the wheel. And, oops, I forgot to put needles in a bag. And once a week or twice a week, maybe on Sundays and Wednesdays, spinning the wheel and trying to complete one color on that Advent. If I can do 2 a week, that would get me 2 a week. That would get me to, like, well, I know the number is 104 colorways, but I have to basically block out December. So let's just say, well, let's say that I could do 100 colors. I could potentially finish 4 of my started Advents, which would help me whip down some of those. So I'd really like to try to make that goal this year. The next one I have to share with you is a crochet project. And this one is called, I think it's Marnie's Garden. Is that what it's called? No, James. And around naturally, I also have this pattern out of order. Yes, it is called Marnie's Garden. I started this for my husband's oldest granddaughter, but I just don't think that she'd be interested in it anymore, which is part of why I've stalled on it. It is really pretty. So that's where I am at on it. And this is a rainbow gradient cake. So gradient cakes change one strand at a time. Will change to a new color. So you can see here, you have got 3 orange strands and 1 red. And so in a little bit, that red one will change to another orange. And then a while after that, one of the orange strands will change to a yellow, and so on and so forth. And that's how it slowly gradiates and changes colors. Anyways, this is a really pretty Afghan, and I really do want to do more work on this. It's just kind of hard to motivate yourself to work on something that you think that the person you had intended it for wouldn't be interested. So it's like, well, why bother continuing for that person? But yeah. So I'll leave this out for now. Next, we have some of my kind of scrappy-ish type of projects. So the sparkling Advent yarn I did this year is from a dyer called Clark and L, and they do seasonal, so every week you open up a different yarn color and you buy one season at a time. So this one that I had started is a granny stripe, and it's on a sparkly base that's not really showing up. Surprise, surprise, it's not showing up on the camera. But so I have been putting one square onto, and this is my scrappy project. This is called Coziest Memories blanket. And so the idea is to make one square out of each of your leftover yarns from your projects. Well, for a lot of my minis, I try to put in the square at the beginning so that I can just work up with whatever is left. So I was doing that for this, which is how I got behind, because I think this is still spring. I think I have 2 more weeks of spring left to do before I can get started on the summer, and then the fall, and then add in winter, and then add in the Advents. But with the Advents, I think that I was just thinking of doing one of the small mitered squares. Don't know where my mitered squares are actually to show you guys. But anyways, so yeah, this is the Coziest Memories, and there's a bunch of different projects that I've done in fingering weight in here. So this one I know is, I made a like a yarn cozy out of this colorway. Just different projects. A lot of these ones down here, I think these 5. So the 4, and then this other bottom one right here. Those are the first 5 days of the Nocturne Alley Advent. Yeah, so this is really fun to do. It takes longer for each square than it should. I don't know why, but this is one that's from a winter themed yarn. Anyways, I just really enjoy doing them, but I'm thinking possibly of I don't know. I'm still debating if I want to keep adding the minis to here, or if I just want to make a square for the Battenberg blanket. I mean, I'm not abandoning this project at all, but I just don't know if I want to save it for full-size skeins of actual like projects as opposed to minis of all of mine. So we will see. And then the year before this one, for the Clark and L, so this is called like a cottage. It was based off of like cottage core type of colorings. The year before didn't have a theme, I don't think. Anyways, so I was doing, this is called the Bits and Bobs, and you hold it double with a plain yarn. I think mine's a gray. Yeah, mine is a gray one. And you're knitting into the stitch below every other stitch is basically the premise. I have a few mistakes like over here as I was just learning. I hope as I get further along those won't bother me, but it is what it is. I wasn't gonna restart. Anyways, I think I am on the 4th color now. So I'm really hoping to pick this one back up. And this one started with winter, and so if I just keep doing it as if it was for this winter, I hope to like catch up. So those are my minis. I have to stop and reset again. This is gonna be super long video, so I hope you stick with me. Be back. Okay, back. This is taking much longer than I expected, so I don't think I'm gonna fit 2 videos filmed today, but that's okay. So this section is going to be basically large crochet Afghans. Yeah, I might have to even stand up to show you guys. So, okay, the first one I will start out with, I forget what this pattern is called. I think it was a freebie. Now I know that you look at this and you see Halloween. However, I started this for my sister and brother-in-law, and they are massive fans of the San Francisco Giants. And these I felt were pretty close to their team colors. So I've made 5 of them. Look at how cool they look on the back, like completely different back and front. So I think they look really cool. I really need to get working on these in order to maybe give it to them for next year. I mean, I started this like a year and a half ago, but I have just been knitting so much that I haven't been crocheting. So anyways, that is that. Next, this is kind of sort of like a sampler Afghan where you've got different kind of blocks. The name of this one is slipping my mind as well. But anyways, it was a crochet along that I signed up for. It's free, and I just never continued. But anyways, so I did the first of the designs, and it called for 3 of them. And so here is number 1. Here is number 2. And here is number 3. So I think there's about 12 more parts or something like that. So I need to get working on it. You use the same colors. These are all Karen Simply Soft yarns. So I do really like how this turned out. Next we have one I started what feels like a million years ago, and this was intended for my sister Alex, who I've since made and given a different blanket to because this one is a big pain in the butt. Okay, it's so, I have it in 2 bags. So let me show you what a finished block looks like. And I literally have not worked on these in years. So this is what a finished block looks like. So you have to make a ton of these solid ones. Then the centers. You've got to make the corner ones. And then you've got to crochet them all together to form a square in which you are also going to be crocheting together the squares. So I have made 2 complete ones. So next to each other, it kind of would look like that, where you'll be getting a 4 square like that. Anyways, it is a super awesome looking Afghan. It is just so meticulous and time consuming. So I have some Ziploc bags that have like all the various elements complete in here that just need to be crocheted together. And then in the other bag, I've got a bunch that have like all but the solids. So I still have to crochet more of the solids and just, oh, geez Louise, it is rough. However, looking at this, some of those solid squares might really work for the Harry Potter knitting and crochet. So I could probably crochet up a bunch of those squares and get them to count and get a good amount of yardage bonus. So I might try to revisit this project. If for nothing else, it's taking up a big amount of space. And I have all the supplies. I just need to work on it. Next, I only brought one to show you, but this is a corner to corner Afghan that has a bunch of different Christmas motifs. And I only ever did this first one, Santa. and I have since forgotten how to do corner to corner crochet. And I mean, like, it's completely reversible. Isn't that so cool? So I need to relearn corner to corner, as I would love to get this finished. I think it would make a really cute throw on the couch at Christmas time, especially if someday we manage to get pregnant. So next is another Christmas one, although this one actually wasn't intended as Christmas. I just chose Christmas colors. And then I didn't love how the final product looked on the Ravelry pages, so I never continued, but I really should, just to get this done with. So there's a bunch of ones that look like this. I think I might actually need to add some more rounds to them and make it a little bit bigger. I need to look at the pattern again. Then this is what so yeah, I think this is how large it needs to be, and so I still have to add another green. So here is this. The back looks different, but this is the front. Here's this little motif, same in different colors. So this is one where I probably should just buckle down and get it finished and have it for another Christmas, and, you know, get some of my space back, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm running out of project bag room, and so I need to clear up some of my storage spaces so I can put more, you know, project bags. This next one is a project I started when my sister was pregnant with my nephew, but I never got to visit them when he was a baby, so I never finished it. And now I'm just kind of saving it for if I get pregnant and have a baby. This is called the Rockabye Baby Rain Song. It's in a book, so that's what the cover picture looks like. It's in this book from Leisure Arts, Our Best Baby Afghans. But my sister was doing like gray, white, and yellow. So that's what I started it in. I mean, my nephew's now 7, so there's no point in continuing this for them. I might as well just claim it for myself. But I have not worked on this since he was a baby, or even possibly since she was pregnant. So here is where I am at. I would love to just get this finished. Again, make some room. I think it's really pretty, and it's super soft. It's a Bernat baby yarn. So it's very soft, and I think it would be perfectly suited for a baby. So put that back in here. I don't even think I have a Ravelry page for this. Oh, I forgot to put the book in. Oh well. This one is called the Phoenix Afghan, and I have a yarn cake. Actually, I have 4 yarn cakes to use for this, and here is what it looks like. I was doing this with a couple friends in my Lord of the Rings group, but then we just stopped posting updates, and so I don't think any of us have worked much past this point. This cake is called Lilac Country, and I think it's so beautiful. This one is called Charlotte's Universe. It was drawn for my January WIP Go, so you will see it in tomorrow's video on my WIP Go preview. But I'm just using 3 colors, and I really love how it looks. I started this past August, and I just need to continue working on it. I just got busy with the Harry Potter school, and because this was already started, it couldn't count, so I just kind of stopped working on it. This one I started so many years ago, and I do mainly completely forget about it because it's in a box that's way up there. And this is called Mandala Madness. Now, the colors do look a bit crazy at this point. However, I based my color selection off of another person's project, and I thought hers looked so awesome. She used a different brand than I did, so I had to match the best I could. But I think as I work on this some more and let it grow larger, the colors start to look better, but I just have not worked on this in many, many years. So I think I put this on my WIP Go board, so I really hope to work on that this year. Now, the next 3, the final 3 in this segment that I have to share with you guys are all the same pattern, but completely different colorways. And this is the Sophie's Universe from Daedra Ice. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. This is what hers looked like. And I love this pattern so much. I want to get the binding removed and put on spirals so I can use this book better, because it's just a little bit difficult. But look at how nice the pictures are. This is a pattern you can get free on her website. However, I thought she did, and she does a ton of free crochet alongs. And I just wanted to support her because of that. So I saw this in a Joann's, and I bought it. I had a coupon, but it's $20. And I think it's well earned. So her pattern is just really fantastic. So the first one I started of this is for my mom, and I call it the Delft Sophie's Universe. So, okay, let me stand up and try to get more of this in the frame. This is for my mom. She collects Delft. Anyways, she's been asking about this, so I do need to get some work done on it. But now that it's winter, actually, I probably should work on it some. It's just, I love it, but it's at the point where it's taking me like a couple hours to do a round because there's just so many stitches. So, yep, that is Sophie's Universe, number 1. The next one I have to share is for my husband. And I based it off of this piece of fabric that I used to back the temperature garden on for the first year that we dated. I made him a pillow. I backed it with that material, and I found out afterwards he hates the color green. So I've kind of not been working much on this because it's kind of like, you know, demoralizing when you spend so much time and energy on something and the person hates the color, but I think it's beautiful. I think my color selections to match that fabric were really good. And this is what it looks like. So I just need to work on it some more and, you know, maybe accept that this, you know, he might not love it as much as I would hope, but it was a labor of love. So that is my husband's Sophie's Universe. The final one I have to share is the one that I did for me. I actually started this one before my husband's. And this is using some of that Little Favorites by Rhea yarn. I saw this colorway. I loved it so much, and I knew I had to make a Sophie's Universe out of it. And so this is where I am at. It is obviously much smaller than the others, but I just love how the colors fit as they gradiate out. I have, I think, maybe even 6 balls of this because I did not want to risk running out. It was a monthly cake, and it was from August of 2016. So I must have started this in 2016. And I love it so much. I need to work on it, but I frequently deprioritize things that are for me, and I need to, you know, maybe be a little bit more selfish this next year and work on finishing some things that I like, not just things for other people. Anyways, so that concludes the Crochet Afghan section. I will have 2 more sections because I have all of my Little Favorites by Rhea crochet projects over there that I need to do. And then I have a basket of random that's going to be a surprise as we go through it for both you and me. So, yeah, gonna press the stop button here. It's looking like this video is probably going to be a couple hours. So, yeah. Hello, I am back. You don't know it, but it has been hours that I've been working on this. This was definitely a way bigger, massive undertaking than I thought. However, it is getting me super updated and organized, which I love. My spreadsheet is going along beautifully, and also I've been able to update some Ravelry pages, so that's all really exciting. Plus rediscovering projects that I completely forgotten that I had. So it's all good. I keep forgetting to show you guys. I've referenced it many times, but these are my Battenberg Squares. It's just 3 rounds, and it's just crochet. Maybe it's 4 rounds. It's 3 or 4 rounds. It's super simple, goes quick. Crochet, you have to crochet a ton of them, and they should be different. Possibly, you know, having a couple that overlap, but it should be primarily different. And so that every time I'm talking about like making a little Battenberg square, hey, knock it off! Wild little things. This is what I'm talking about. Super quick, but it gives you a different perspective of what a skein looks like than knitting does. So I have out all of my Little Favorites by Rhea gradient square whips, or at least the ones that are in the cubby. The thing is, most of these have not been worked on for so long that I have kind of forgotten their names. So over here on my iPad, I have up my Ravelry, projects page, so that I can quickly scroll and figure out what pattern I am showing you because it would take way too long to edit this and add text for each one. So sorry, but that's not happening today. Okay, so to begin off, this is called the Beautiful Shells. This is one of the first skeins of Little Favorites by Rhea I ever got back before she was even doing the Club of the Month. I think I was one of her first like 5 customers, and I love her gradient yarn. I just have collected so much and have used so little that I had to stop doing the Clubs of the Month. It just wasn't practical. She ships from Germany, but her prices are very reasonable, or at least they were last time I checked. But so this one is fairly close to being done. This is how much yarn I have left. The problem is that I started this so long ago and haven't worked on it for so long that I've kind of forgotten how the pattern goes. And this is only important because this pattern is actually written to be used with 2 yarns, and I'm just using one gradient. And so I need to figure out what I did differently from the instructions in order to really work on this again. But one of my big goals for this year is to actually finish this one. It's so close. It's so close, and it would be so nice to finally finish one. And then I would put this in my yet to exist hope chest for if I have a little girl. I think this is a really cute blanket for a little girl, and yeah, so that is my plan with that. To be honest, I'm not even entirely sure why I started this one or why I chose this colorway, but yeah, and it is so nice and drapey. Like, it's so drapey. I love it. Okay. So I'll put that one to the side. Next, I have 3 virus blankets to show you. Apparently, I have not done the virus shawl with any of these. I just keep doing the blanket. So, this is one I might frog and do a different pattern with. Let me move it to the side to kind of show you. This is called a Fireworks. This was a Club of the Month. January 2017. I did not love it. I did not love it, but it's a little wild for me. I don't know if maybe this would be more suited for a granny square. I don't know. But this is all I have done on the virus. Actually, it's this way. The virus Afghan. So, not much. Next, we have one that is made from a club cake in May of 2016. This might have been the first club cake. This might have been the first one. And this is what it looks like. She used to put the glitter strand with almost every club cake. It's not my favorite of them, but it is still beautiful. And this is what my virus blanket looks like at this point. I just think it's a really beautiful pattern. The shimmer isn't coming through so well, but it is very actually shimmery. So that is the May virus blanket. Then we have the final virus blanket, and this is the July virus blanket, and it is actually the one that I will be working on in January for WIP Go. Oh my gosh, my little thing has gotten caught in the glitter strand. My little marker. I don't want to pull it because the glitter thing is such a pain in the butt sometimes. Okay, I will try to work on that later. Anyways, so here is where I am at on this one. So probably around about the same place as the other one. And this one is a bright, vibrant, like it reminds me of like the sun. I don't know why, because you don't, red isn't usually part of the sun, but it reminds me of the sun. Sorry, it's very frustrating that this is attached like this. I'm just, oh, got it. Sorry, I just wanted to take care of that before it got torn while I'm trying to do all this. So that is the July virus blanket. And you will see that again this month. Next we have the only knitting one I have to show you, and this is barely anything. I just wanted to see if I could knit with it, and I actually started this one while Gracie was in labor with her first litter of puppies, so I called it Gracie's Labor or something like that. Gracie's Labor of Love, I don't know. Yeah, Gracie's Labor of Love. I think this is called the Grain pattern. It's a free pattern from Tin Can Knits. And it is really easy and works for this. However, I then needed the needles for a different project, so I kind of stole them and stuck it on this thing and haven't touched it in a long time. Okay. Next we have up, let me see if I can find it. Is this knit? This is actually knit as well. I forgot I had two knit ones. What are you called? What are you called? Sorry about this. I started it during the Olympics and now it's not here. Are you serious? Oh boy. Apparently I did not insert this one into this stupid tracker thing. Ravelry. So I need to figure out what this one is called because the Olympics are coming up again. And I probably want to work on it if the US is participating and all that. I don't know. There's been a lot of talk. So we will see. I really hope so because I'm kind of obsessed with curling, but I only watch it during the Olympics. But I love curling so much. So if the Olympics aren't happening and I don't get my curling fix, I don't know. But this isn't it. I need to figure out what pattern I did here. I know it's something about hopes or dreams or something like that. And then it's a red, white, and blue gradient yarn, and that's why I was working on it during the Olympics. But I need to figure out what the pattern was. I can't believe I've lost it. Okay. This is the original granny square that I was using as my on-the-go project. However, one day the dogs got to it and I spent over 2 days, maybe even 3, trying to untangle it, and I kind of really got burnt out. So this is where I got on that. I don't know why I keep showing you guys the backs. So I do want to return to this because I think that the color is so fun, but I need to, you know, get not angry at it. And also because of how it is right like this, it's gonna be harder to do on the go, so I'm gonna have to work on it at home for some time. This one is a Christmas one. It is called something change. I called it Mistletoe of Change, but that's not the pattern name. The pattern name is Mo of Change by Frank O. Randall. I haven't done much, but I was really enjoying doing that. This is what the cake looks like, so it is Christmassy. And we have a round white table in our kitchen nook, dining nook. And I keep thinking that this would be pretty on it at Christmas time. So I just haven't worked on it in quite some time. Let's see. Putting these into my spreadsheet is going to be hard because I did not set proper dates for these, and the date I created it in Ravelry actually correlates to some like craft room organization I was doing, so it's not accurate dates at all. Okay, so going back, let's see, this one I believe is the 4 Seasons pattern. And that is what it looks like. And this is what the cake looks like. So it's gonna get lighter and then go back to darker. It's very pretty. Next we have the Lydia Shawl. And I really like this one. It looks like I've done so much, but this is how much cake is still left. So not as much as I would have hoped to have done. This one is called Ocean Lovers. I think it's really pretty. Then we have, what are you called? The Frig Cow. I think I'm still on the first part, but look at how beautifully delicate looking this is. So lacy looking. And the colorway I have here is called Frostbite, and I do have 2. So when I run out of this one, I can start pulling from this one, and it will be the same color that it ended with. So kind of reverse back onto itself to end in the same color as what it started. So I really like that colorway. This is called the Unicorn Mandala. So pretty. The problem is I was hit by the knitting bug, and so I stopped crocheting, but looking at all these now, I'm like, why'd you stop crocheting? These are so beautiful. So that's the cake. So pretty. So pretty. Need to get back to it. I have 2 of what is called the Grinda Shawl. This one is at the more beginning stages. Actually it's this way. That's what it looks like, so lacy and open. This cake is, this is what the cake looks like, and I thought it looked kind of oceany, so that's why I picked it. The other shawl that I am doing, the also Grinda, I have a Rogue glittery strand. This is what it looks like so far, so I am much further along. Oh, I love how bright it is. And this is what the cake looks like, and I just think it is a gorgeous cake. Very girly. Okay. Next we have, what are you called? The Bella Vida shawl. This is what it looks like so far. And this is what the cake looks like, which is just so different. Dark and moody. And two more to show you. This is just a granny square. And this is what that cake looks like. And the final one is called, oh, actually there's two more. What are you? I think this is just like a granny shawl. And this is what that cake looks like. And then the final one is called Liliana. And this one I have six balls of. And this is what the start looks like. And here's the cake. So 3 of them are like this, 3 of them are the reverse. So yeah, those are my little favorites by Rhea. Whoops. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So now I'm going to enter those into the spreadsheet and reset for the final mystery basket. And then edit this and hope that I have enough room on my iPad to save it, because that is always a problem. So I will talk to you guys later. It will be in just a few seconds for you though. Okay, it is about 8 o'clock at night. I have been at this for, oh my goodness, at least 8 hours. Okay, but we're on the final set, and I'm not 100% sure that all of these are going to get added into the spreadsheet, because some of them are semi-abandoned. So let's just quickly go over them, and then we will be done with the filming, and I have to edit and hope that it will upload. Otherwise you're gonna get multiple parts. So yep, that is what it is. To be honest, I'm not even positive what all of these are. Okay, this is a shawl pattern, not a shawl, a scarf pattern that I had found, and my mom really liked this pattern. And it was super simple. I mean, I should figure out what it is and quickly finish it, because this is, I mean, pretty decently sized. I could finish this up pretty quickly. Just need to find out what it is and what I was doing. This I believe, is a shirt I had started for my sister Alex. Then I lost the pattern and couldn't figure out what the pattern was, and now I don't even know if it would fit her. So I did one panel. So I mean, like, you would wear a shirt under it. And this is how far I got on the second, oops, other side, the second panel. So you knit it from, you crochet it from the top down. I mean, this is a really pretty yarn, kind of peacocky. I don't have the tag, so I have no clue what it is, but that's pretty. And I posted like a year or so ago on a crochet group asking if anyone by chance knew what the pattern was, and someone actually found it for me. And so I now know the pattern. I just need to finish working on it. This is one, excuse me, from when I was first learning how to knit. And it's just simply knit back and forth with an increase. I was just trying to learn how knitting worked. I'm using like plasticky needles. This is my ball of yarn, which actually I think is really quite pretty. And yeah, I was just trying to figure things out, get better at knitting. I may or may not continue this. I honestly don't know. Like I said, these are not all going to get added to the list because if I decide to work on them, then I'll add them, I guess. There's a couple that I'll add, but so this is a shawl called the Rana Shawl. And I just had gotten some cheap Patton's Croy sock from Hobby Lobby. Again, I was still just learning how to knit. And so this is what that looks like. I'm trying to decide if I'll continue doing this or if I will just rip this back and actually use it for socks. I think I have 3 balls here. Excuse me. Let's see what this one is. So this one is called the Julian Shawl. It's a lot of plain knitting until you get to a certain point. And this is as far as I got. If I'm going to continue with this, I'm probably going to rip back and restart it because my tension is not fantastic here. Although maybe it's just a case of needing some blocking. I don't know. It doesn't look great at the center. I've definitely improved since I started this. That's part of the problem with a lot of the ones in this basket is I've just improved since I did these, so. This one is the very first fancy skein I ever bought. This is how it looks. What is the pattern I'm attempting to do? So, okay, so this one is from Blue Barn Fiber. I've never actually bought from them again, and I don't know why. It's called Across Space and Time. It's a shimmer base. So there's a sparkle in here. And, oh man, sorry I'm yawning. Just been, whatever it is, I wrote the pattern on note cards. Okay, this is called Lala's Simple Shawl. This is also one I got before I ever got a Swift and winder. So I got several knots in the yarn while trying to wind. Just a big mess. So yeah, may or may not rip back and restart, or I don't know, continue going. We will see. This one is another virus Afghan I started, and it is with a Red Heart Untouchable yarn, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that shows the color a lot better. And this is as far as I got. But I do think it's really pretty in this yarn, so I may continue at some point. And I have 3 skeins of that yarn. Oh man, sorry. I've been clearly talking quite a bit. Okay, just a few more to show. This is, I believe, a virus shawl. I do not even love this shade of green. I do not know what possessed me to do this. It's just Karen Simply Soft. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking when I did this one. I may just rip back and add to this yarn to stash, as I tend to think that'll make nicer yarn for an Afghan. Speaking of which, this is an Afghan I had started for and my, at the time, best friend, but we really basically lost touch. I started it for her wedding, but yeah, we basically just lost touch. So that's as far as I ever got. I'm not positive what pattern it is. I do think those colors together are beautiful though, so who knows. May continue it and just keep it for myself. This is another Rana shawl, and this is with a yarn called Bilbo's Trolls. I think this is a beautiful colorway. However, I'm not 100% convinced that it's right for this yarn. So, I don't know. I may pull back and just do a pair of socks or something out of this yarn. I don't know. We will see. We will see. This is why it's in the random compartment. This one is one I was actively working on until Gracie and Georgie got to my skein of yarn, which at present looks like this. I'm also not convinced that the recipient I had intended this for, excuse me, is really knit worthy, crochet worthy, craft worthy, that they would appreciate it, that it wouldn't end up in the back of a closet. So I haven't really felt a strong urge to try to work on those tangles. I have a second skein that's supposed to go with it. This was another Phoenix Afghan, and so it's just kind of sitting in here in timeout. Now these next two, the last two, they are not abandoned projects, so these ones I will probably add to the spreadsheet. And that is this one is called Secret Paths, and it's for my aunt. It is various shades of purple, and this is what it looks like, and I think that's really pretty. So need to work on this some more. Would love to get this done for her. She loves the color purple. The second one is called, the name Bilbo's Trolls is in my head, but that is not right. It is called Goldberry, and this yarn is called Shadow, right? Yep, Shadow. And here is where I am at on it. So this is based off of Lord of the Rings, the pattern. And so I really would like to work on this some more, maybe while listening to the books. But so, yeah, that concludes the WIP parade for everything crochet and knit. I really need to get this piece together and uploaded. It is pretty late, so, well, I mean 8:30, but I am tired. This was tiring. So I'm just going to try to get done what I can get done, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there's no problems. So I will talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching this knit crochet WIP parade. If you have any further requests, questions, feel free to ask them down below. Bye!